Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to do another anime film review, this time on the case of Hana and Alice. It is directed by Shunji Iwai, and it's about an hour and 40 minutes in length, and only has Japanese audio with English subtitles. There is no dub for this one, at least for this release. I don't know if there's been another release that does have a dub, but I doubt it. This is interesting. If you watch the trailer, like I did, it is very confusing to figure out what this movie is about. My sister and I really enjoyed it, and I watched it a couple weeks ago when I got it, and I already want to watch it again. I liked it that much. And the interesting thing about this, which I didn't know until I started watching all the commentary and extras, which this has a lot of, which I really loved. It's got a long interview with the director, and the two main voice actors, which was excellent. It's like hours and hours of extra content, which is so nice. I've watched a couple hours of the extra content, but I think there's still parts. I think there's still at least one more interview that I didn't actually watch yet. But yeah, there's tons of extras on this as well, which is lovely. But the interesting thing about this is that it was a live action movie back in the early 2000s, and this is the prequel to that live action movie, but they made it an anime film so that they could use the same actors. And so almost from what I could tell, most of the original actors from that movie, when they were teenagers, they did the live action, reprised their roles as voice actors in this film, which is so cool. And, when you're with the director's interview and whatnot, and chatting with the two main girls who, when they were teenagers, played these characters in real life, reprising their roles like a decade later, they talked about all the times they had on set and how they were so happy to revisit these characters, and how the director was not used to doing anime films because he was a live action director, but he really wanted to create a prequel or an extra, like another story to these two characters, but knew that he can't do that without having to recast the girls. He wanted to reuse the same actors, and therefore anime was the only medium that they could do that with. This is rotoscoped. It uses rotoscoping as the animation technique, so if that's going to turn you off, then maybe this isn't for you. But I really enjoy rotoscoping. I think it looks cool. I think it brings a new kind of feel to anime films, or anime in general. So I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I just found that to be really cool, and listening to all those interviews really gave a more full body experience to this film, because I had no idea that this was a prequel to anything. I thought it was just a movie, and that's what it was, but there was a lot more to it. But anyway, Hana and Alice are two high school girls who, one of them just moves in, this girl here, and she sits in a desk, and everybody in the class kind of starts shunning her and bullying her, and she's not really clear on what's happening. And they've got like a spirit kind of summoning circle around the desk that she's sat in, and they're all acting really strange, and she doesn't know why, and no one will talk to her, and it's very bizarre. And there's also her neighbor, this girl who never leaves her house, and she sees her kind of poking out the window every once in a while, but she's kind of confused as to who she is and what her deal is. And so she finds out this mystery of this supposed classmate who died, and it's very confusing. It's very difficult to explain, and I think it's why the trailer is so confusing as well, and a lot of the comments are like, what is this movie about? It's very difficult to say. It's basically a mystery about a classmate who supposedly died in the past, and now the class is all superstitious, and they don't really know. Nobody has a clear picture of what's going on, because this is these are people who are very young and believe things that they've heard, and rumors go out of control, and everybody has their own idea about what happened or what didn't happen, and everybody just kind of goes with the flow of the gossip. And uh, our main character kind of gets takes the brunt of it. And but it's at the core of it, this is a story of friendship. It's a story of um, forgiveness, and it's two teenage girls who just are a bit strange and become it's the story of their growing friendship, because this is the prequel to the movie, like I mentioned, the live action movie, which is about, they're already friends in that movie, and this is the story that the director wanted to tell about how these two became friends. And it's lovely. It's very funny. There are parts that are just so absolutely ridiculous, and that my sister and I couldn't stop laughing. And um, it's just nice. It's it's just everything I could have wanted, and it's so hard to explain why I loved it so much. But their ridiculous, over the top behavior is refreshing, and it's just fun to see two, you know, adolescent girls just kind of letting loose and being ridiculous and funny. And um I just I don't know. I want to watch it again already. And the colors and the animation are so beautiful, and the voice acting is great, and you can tell that these two voice actors really get along and really believe in this friendship and really love this story. And I think that that's the biggest piece of this, is you can tell the people working on this really, really love and believe in this story. And even though it's ridiculously convoluted, it's just fun. It's just fun, and I can't recommend it enough if you're just into kind of it, not necessarily slice of life, but it is a very ridiculous, like there is an overarching plot that really doesn't mean anything. Um yeah, I don't know, it's bizarre. It's hard to explain, and you can watch as many, trailers or whatever as you can, which is what I did before I purchased this, and I still didn't understand what it was supposed to be about. And when it ended, my sister and I looked at each other and went, "I have no idea what we just watched, but I really loved it." And yeah, I will absolutely be watching this again at some point soon. So I do recommend checking out the case of Hana and Alice. Um, yeah, it's a fun ride for sure. Anyway, if you've seen this, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you've seen the original live action, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. I've not seen it, so I'm curious about it now. Yeah, thanks for watching.